My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. Tuesday, December 17, 2024, starting this screen recording at 10:08 a.m. as a matter of record. Where again, the current time, the current state of affairs right now is that the fake sun remains at the venue, which is Woodside Senior Apartments, and that's exactly what's reflected in the video that I captured moments ago. This is at what is the Woodside Senior Apartments at 9:51 in the morning, and prompting this documentation is the ongoing harassment and terrorism by the demon-possessed that are the people of the state who are engaged in ceaseless monitoring. Remember, demons are monitoring your physical movements. They're monitoring your physical movements inside of a private space, and that's the prosecution of a public entity for a massive sex offense that is to be appreciated under federal law. That's a sex offense committed by an entity of the constituents of the state, the government, all of which is public information regarding your private personal matters. That's an unfathomable and never before ratified method of sexual violence that is also demonic in nature, but it's a criminal act and it's a sex act that's not consented to, and it's unprecedented. So nonetheless, this is where the entity has the fake sun, which is revealing all of that criminal conduct while you're seeing the scientific phenomenon. And it is shown through what you see here, the light source at 9:51 a.m., comparing it with what you saw yesterday at 2:29 p.m., where the state continues to bind itself at this point. The evidence, the documentation is working. It's you set out what are the goals, what's the purpose, and the demons that are wrapped up in a very specific demonic system, they bind themselves in that. All right, so they're literally spinning while they're pacing all around. They're spinning themselves up in a web that they cannot get out of, and all I'm doing is capturing the video of it, and that is shown through what is the fake sun that's still at the same address at 2:29 in the afternoon versus 9:51, which I'm capturing. So this video at the top was captured yesterday afternoon, where the entity provided evidence against the city of Ontario, that's the state of California, and the constituents of the people of the state, who are again engaging in what is 24-hour psychological torture, for which you go to federal prison, 24-hour criminal surveillance, for which you go to federal prison, 24-hour federal stalking under Title 18, for which you go to federal prison. And this is what the government, the state of California, is going to be prosecuted for while it's ongoing at a facilitating venue, which is Woodside Senior Apartments. And This is what you're looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and capture the screen recording. I don't want to do like an hour-long video. But I'm going to go ahead and show you this. This is what I captured this morning on the bottom, December 17, 2024 at 9:51 a.m. And I captured a couple of things at the same time. You are always capturing. First of all, when I'm capturing the specific environment at any location where I'm at, it's directly probative of the other locations, the other venues, in other words, because of why. And why is that? Because of the exclusivity of the sun. That means, and I've documented this everywhere, if that's the sun outside of my hotel room window in Hesperia, California, very exclusive sky space that's facing that desert field behind the hotel where the pool is. There are no buildings, no structures, no anything back there. And the Walmart is to the left of my hotel room on the opposite side of that field. There's no sun over Woodside Senior Apartments. It does not coincide. It's incongruent. It's impossible, not only based on logistical information that I just pointed out, the ecological address, the direction that I'm facing, the time of day, the duration of time, the fact that the sun does not leave from Woodside Senior Apartments, which is what I'm capturing literally in this video. 9:51 in the morning until 2:29 in the afternoon. That's defying science. That's defying nature. It's literally impossible for it to naturally be the case. That is the same with regard to the behavior of those that are in this environment. And it is directly probative of the malice that the government exhibits while it is indeed engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, referred to as gang stalking. So with that, I just want to be clear what it is the entity doing at 2:29 in the afternoon, which is what I captured. It's terrorism by the state that's acting directly. All right, monitoring my communication device like they are now, like they are as the people of the state are maintaining the same exact criminal elements as demons, which is also relevant to the terrorism that the state of California is going to be prosecuted for. All right, it's already terrorism that the government is stalking you, and they like to stalk in helicopters. That's the hallmark. But it's also terrorism because they're demons, which the evidence proves that while they're stalking you in helicopters. And they are engaging in 24-hour surveillance with the people who are the same condition, demons, living under a fake sun. And nobody notices this phenomenon. You know why? Because they're all engaging in that pattern of conduct together, not ignorantly or coincidentally. Not ignorant of the fact that they're walking around an engineer light that's on the sidewalk, all over the buildings, ricocheting while they drive their cars, getting out, opening and closing their. None of these are demonic means of facilitation that they're ignorant about, nor is that reasonable to contend that amongst the population in the specific environment, in concert in the same exact way by the state. You are looking at what is a hardcore system. All right, so this is what was documented.
Ontario PD is monitoring my phone use under the fake sun, and this is exactly what I'm going to put as a highlight while they fly right over.
All right, this is terrorism by the state. And it's directly relevant not only by their location, by their engagement in elements of monitoring. You're looking at relevant positioning. It's amplified volume inside of the apartment. It's rumbling the apartment. This is terrorism. These are demons, in other words, that want to scare you. They want to terrorize you, okay? Now, do not miss the value of that, because the ordinary target individual, just because I'm not actually scared, does not mean that there's not a reasonable basis to be fearful for your life. The legal standard. Someone has to be capable of standing up and resisting Satan and prosecuting him. Okay? So that does not make me less entitled to justice, clearly. And remember, I am at all times advocating on behalf of the one who cannot speak for themselves, because they're already dead. They're sitting around kidnapped somewhere. Do not forget that. While the entity is engaged in what is relevant positioning by helicopter, sensational activity creation, vibrating the apartment, audible activity creation, amplified helicopter, stalking with activity creation in the means that I just stated, with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my communication device. That's the practicing of witchcraft as well, psychological torture, okay, using helicopters. That's the government. That's the city of Ontario. That's demon possession exhibited by the state. That's gang stalking on its face, all right? Doing so while you also have the specific environment present.
In the afternoon, remember, they were gang stalking at 10:30 in the morning. This is the fake sun at the same location, and they're flying over while they are aware of what it is that I'm capturing, which is screenshots showing their engagement in witchcraft, which is exactly what this is. Okay, Mike Lorenz, just like I was stating, so I'll go ahead and state it in this video evidence, which
This is the fake sun that's literally zenith-like placement over the same exact apartment complex, okay? And then this is again where I'm at this morning at 9:51 a.m. So the fake sun, I just want to be clear, you're going to watch the fake sun move as I move back toward the front door of this apartment.
To putting the disbanding of the demon-possessed agency, the Ontario Police Department. This is Impossible Light. This is the identification of gang stalkers that live in...
The people of the state are not ignorant about the impossible light that's around. It's for their criminal purposes. These are demons just like in apartment 55 and in apartment 51, who you'll see in this video down here at the bottom, engaging in what is monitoring and showing mental illness in doing so. Okay, doing so also what is malice, and that's why for the engagement in seeking to maliciously murder a family member, to criminally defame in order to kidnap a family member, you're going to a mental asylum for the rest of your life. Okay, understand when you have a population, because it's not distinct from what is the condition of an entire population that's gang stalking. What's the difference? That I'm not blood related to the rest of them. And that's the condition that is the cause for the criminal conduct by the Ontario Police Department as well, by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, by the Ontario Fire Department. Demon possession, equal, okay? That's malice, and they're not ignorant. While they're pacing around like the demon in 55, she's going to a mental asylum. And that's just based on the evidence that she has provided to a federal prosecutor about her. It's going to be the substance of her federal prosecution. Your goal, this is how the law works. You provide that evidence, your mental state is necessarily a part of the controversy. You're running around in circles like you're chasing your tail. In an apartment, you don't sleep. All right, you pace back and forth with regard to every move. You're already known to be a demon and you're stalking. The fact that you're stalking somebody where you live, you're going to a mental asylum. And that's a succinct way regarding the psychotic P.O.C. that the demon in apartment 55, who provided, she chose that. She chose that for herself. Okay, this is the ignorance, the absence of ignorance while they are living in this environment where the supernatural surrounds. Okay,
Facilitating
such
video.
as
This
this.
is in the shade. You're seeing the shadow of the bushels in the shade. My shadow appearing in the shade on the ground. These are all gang stalkers they're monitoring. This is Impossible Light that's on the sidewalk. And so is the Ontario Police. And so are the people while you drive Impossible Light across the brick wall.
All right, so I do go and I get her license plate. I already documented this. I want you to see the fake sun. It moves as I move. It advances as I advance on the property, remaining at the same location. This is a supernatural, scientific phenomenon where criminal conduct of a demonic nature is underway. And this is the malice of what is the people of the state who are gang stalking at a senior citizen complex. I want you to see here, the demon at 55, I want to be clear, 10:19 a.m. This demon is stalking with noise as I press the phone screen. That's why she's going to a mental asylum. The entity is maintaining the fake sun. While you're looking at the fake sun above me, you'll see the engineer light on the sidewalk right here. Okay, it's the same pattern of conduct right here. This is the same thing that you see here. Okay, this is a pattern. This is how you're recognizing the pattern of conduct, not only by the behavior of demons. What is Satan doing in the specific environment that you're ignorant about? And you're ignorant about Satan's presence because Satan is a spirit. So Satan is using people who are desperately trying, and what I'm showing you, they're failing at appearing normal, engaging in things that you're not suspecting whatsoever. All Satan is doing, when you get it down to one person, you could see it very clearly when you look at one person in front of you walking back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. If you can imagine that in your mind's eye, that's what Satan is doing, disguising it cleverly. And I put that in air quotes because it's not clever under the fake sun and engineered light, while the state does spectacular things such as stalking in planes and helicopters in that environment. But the entity does so amongst the population who are just moving around in all manner of direction, and you're looking at it on its face as traffic. Those are demons who are pacing like a pile of cockroaches in all manner of direction. That's what the people of the state are doing. And engineer light under the fake sun. That includes the sky space. The same pile of cockroaches are in the sky space. The same pile of cockroaches throughout the entire city, not just at Woodside Senior Apartments. Woodside Senior Apartments, they're going to federal prison. Okay, but the people of the state that live off of what is Mission Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, they're going to be prosecuted for federal group stalking and monitoring because the entire city is engaged in that P.O.C. And how do you know that? Because the fake sun is remaining isolated over this strip of property at Woodside Senior Apartments. And the people of the state that live off of Mission Boulevard are fully engaged in that pattern of conduct for their criminal purposes. They can come at any time, which is what the entity does, come over and monitor me while they're going to the 7-Eleven, while they're coming onto the property, parked in the parking lot with their hazard lights on, delivering a package, or coming and doing the landscaping, or just coming and visiting somebody, or just coming and sitting in their car and then driving off as the entity flies over by helicopter and then going on about their day, or going into their apartment, or leaving their friend's house, wherever it is that they go. You're going to be prosecuted the entire city of Ontario. That is by virtue of the evidence of the fake sun remaining over this strip. That's how you know the entire city of Ontario. That is by virtue of that fake sun remaining here. There's no natural sun over them. These are demons maliciously engaged in that P.O.C. This is the pattern of conduct. You can see it with when you pay attention to that fake sun and that engineered light. In addition to that, you're looking at what is this light source that's remaining over the property.
Living in at a facilitating venue, not a private residence. They're all going to federal prison, 55 and over, and they're going to federal prison. They're gang stalking, engaged in Title 18 federal stalking with the state, who you just saw engaging in what is real-time knowledge regarding the criminal conduct that I continuously document.
As I'm capturing screenshots, in other words, operation of my communication device, which demons are monitoring. They're also monitoring you in your sleep. So this is the reflection of the light source through the window. Where I'm standing right now, the sun is in a substantially similar position where it would be reflecting off of the window. The entity is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Understand that this is, again, not the occurrence of what is an actual reflection based on the position of the fake sun. For the fake sun to be over the same exact apartment building, to advance to be over the parking lot of the same property in alignment to me as I move to the parking lot and then back over the same building at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, understand what you're looking at. This is nothing other than a demonic method of maintaining the object itself, to see it through a reflection or to see it like you see here, literally itself over the building. These are the demonic methods of stalking with the fake sun. Okay, this has nothing to do with the position of the fake sun at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The fake sun's not going anywhere. To rise and set at one property is stationary presence. So this is, again, as you see it reflected through the window, but nonetheless I use it as an analytical framework
Ontario PD's
in order for you to understand what is, under all circumstances, we can logically break down what is under all circumstances supernatural and very, very idiotic. It's even more idiotic to stalk in that environment. Okay, but this is what you saw, because this is what everybody's going to federal prison. And the demon in apartment number 55 pacing around, showing the necessity of a mental asylum upon her conviction for federal group stalking and monitoring in apartment 55, license 5WUV 715. And that is ongoing as I capture this video. And that's on behalf of the same police department, the same city of Ontario, who was the state of California, gang stalking through the people of the state. All of them in unit 33 through 64 are going to federal prison.
In alignment with this window at 4 p.m. where you saw engineered light appearing upon that building over there. This entire property is going to federal prison, and the Ontario Police is going to be disbanded. And this is speaking to what Paul Leon, Alan D. Wapner are all aware of. And as you see them providing evidence against the entity, this is defying federal government. That's why Michael.
And this is the acts of terrorism by demons who are mentally unstable, who engage in repeating the egregious and unprecedented criminal conducts threatening the life and safety, the well-being of the a targeted individual, the American citizen. And only mentally unstable demons engage in this sort of behavior. They repeated it again on video. And why? Because of the truth that I speak. As I name demons such as Paul Leon, who shall not remain as a mayor. You're a gang stalking mayor. And they also know that you're a demon, sir. So they know that you are inclined to engage in sexual violence, which you are as a gang stalking mayor in the city of Ontario. The whole city is interested in my genitalia. They're monitoring me. Okay, so you are, by virtue of that evidence, going to be removed as the mayor. While the police, the government, is gang stalking, the mayor is gang stalking. Understand how this logic applies when you are applying the law. You're prosecuting them. These are not far reaches that I'm speaking to. Satan can't handle it. And what did Satan engage in?
He's going to be prosecuted. This is domestic terrorism. This is what is clear prosecution. This is terrorism in the United States. P.O.C. That does not create vibration in the apartment. That is occurring under what?
The same exact fake sun at 2:29 in the afternoon. And so while I'm inside of the apartment this morning, while the entity is engaged in stalking in the middle of the night, all right, disrupting, because demons are fearful when I'm in a sleep state, anything that I might dream of or any sort of ideas. Again, the short-sightedness, the fear of the defeated, the demons that are stalking you are inferior to you. You need to understand that. Know who you are in Christ. all right, and your posture, but even you could take even that spiritual truth out of it, all right. By virtue of stalking you, they're literally following you. In order to follow, you have to be behind. You're acting as a matter chronologically. After I move is when you move. Where I move is where you move. You're following me. You are inherently behind me, underneath me. Okay, so I just want to understand that mentally, logically, putting that also in the proper context. But I want to show what's going on in the apartment,
December,
which is the fake sun engineered light shooting inside of the apartment. And this is where you'll see a third party coming behind me in this video talking about come inside is audible activity, and it's also malice. The same one that's acting with the state that's flying over me at her apartment. Engaged in what you have heard witness, criminal defamation. Malice. Monitoring in that method is showing mental instability, that psychotic level of malice. Very diabolical. Okay?
Impossible light activity is on the ceiling, streaming down on the east wall in the living room.
And it's shooting through the kitchen, appearing on the wall through the peephole. And I've captured this already, putting my hand to the peephole, and you'll see light concentrating on my hand. That's not the product of the sunlight or the sun. And that's what you'll see.
Manifesting at a great distance. Very demonic. This is where the demon in apartment 55, gang stalking me while I'm on the couch.
I want you to see my hand. There's a light.
Time which ended. I want you to see this. This is impossible lights manifesting at a great distance.
That's concentrated ILA. That's shooting in all manner of directions. And so then I go outside because I want you to see, again, this.
You also know not only is the fake sun here, which cannot be over Alvarado Gardens, that is, in other words, mutually exclusive positions of the light source, not the sun, revealing a specific environment. This is the same position where the fake sun is, as I showed you, reflecting through this window, in a position similarly, substantially similar to where it would be reflected through the window, as you saw at 2:29 p.m., where the Ontario Police Department were gang stalking, exhibiting demon possession and malice, and incriminating everyone around. And what do you see? The pattern of conduct of engineer light on the sidewalk. You saw at 2:29 on this side of the sidewalk. That's understanding the pattern. Impossible light is covered. They're walking around, living in it, monitoring me, while the fake sun is, which is not over building, what would be building 1810. Excuse me, I'm capturing video. That's monitoring.
That's P.O.C.
Excuse me?
Ceiling.
That's monitoring an impossible light. Her shadow's on the ceiling, and that's called malice.
Everything about that is monitoring. And the demon in 55 is pounding above my head while I'm documenting this. She's going to an asylum.
While she's gang stalking. Understand that the entity's fake sun, which is after daylight savings time, in February of 2024, Unity has the fake sun over Alvarado Gardens, where LAPD flies a circle over the fake sun that you see in here. Crossing path in the sky spaces is what the
aerial surveillance. This is what Ontario police are doing in helicopters, stalking in the sky space and doing so right in your face. This is the very conduct that the federal government is going to respond to. All right. The entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct in the same way that I referenced. So I want you to see, while you're looking at this fake sun, that's remaining stationary over Woodside, while the people of the state are gang stalking with impunity. Monitoring, in other words, this documentation. This is a mentally deranged psychopath who knows exactly what she's doing and is doing so with impunity. In other words, disregard for the fact that she's going to federal prison for it. That type of mental psychosis is the type that will not realize the consequences when they're crying in front of a federal judge that's going to put them in a mental asylum, in a padded room, in a straitjacket, etc. But will, until, again, and this is the public safety concern about the demon possessed, because they resort to more violence, they resort to more of their demonic conduct while they serve Satan, who has them deceived, very, very deceived, that they would ever even be successful, okay? Failing to properly assess the circumstances, where a sane person would say, maybe I should stop this, maybe this isn't going the way that I thought it would go. You know, that's what a normal person assesses, especially weighing the consequences. Is it worth me being deported? Is it worth me going to federal prison? Is it worth that? These are the decision-making skills that the demon-possessed lack, okay? That's a public safety concern.
LAPD is currently flying in circles over the property and amplifying the noise. This is the light source. It's currently 9:53 a.m. This is P.O.C. The people of the state, that is including my employer, the people of the state who are residents here in relevant position, are monitoring with the Los Angeles Police Department. This is called demonic pacing, but it's criminal. It's serving what is monitoring with communication devices in violation of existing federal law. It's currently...
All right, this is, remember, I'm capturing this at 9:53 in the morning. Daylight savings time ended on November 3rd, 2024. So I reference what are fictions, such as daylight savings time, because it doesn't apply where we do not have a natural environment with regard to the sun that's in constant movement, and the time is adjusted based on, wanting to have more sunlight and light the darkness starting earlier, having more light during the summer, etc. All of this is based on that, which is just conditioning our minds regarding an environment that's not even natural to begin with. Daylight savings time is absolutely irrelevant. During daylight savings time, outside of daylight savings time, the fake sun is stationary over me at Woodside Senior Apartments, period. Daylight savings time is also not an explanation for what is the light source. The whole object itself hovering over the apartment building that is 1810 North Alvarado Street. Pay attention to the video, ladies and gentlemen. The police, these are demons, they flew right around the fake sun. They flew around it. This hovering ornament in the sky is not over Woodside Senior Apartments. It's over me at Alvarado Gardens. Again, before daylight savings time, so it's the exact same time. 9:53 a.m. is when I started this video, and today I captured video at what is 9:51, and the video ends at 9:55. The entity is keeping this fake sun over Woodside Senior Apartments, which is not anywhere in Los Angeles. In other words, this is the analysis where you're recognizing, where you're juxtaposing the crime scenes. The two are mutually exclusive, and it's also mutually exclusive because of what? Because the entity keeps the fake sun stationary, as you see, at 2:29 p.m. while it's still here in Ontario over the same building at the same apartment complex. There's no provision for the natural environment to consist of having the same time at any point of the day, let alone the same time that the sun would be in any position, like I documented, where in that, amongst that phenomenon, the entity is present in helicopters flying around the sun at a low elevation. This is demonic activity right in your face.
This is P.O.C. The people of the state, that is including my employer, the people of the state who are residents here in relevant position, are monitoring with the Los Angeles Police Department. This is called demonic pacing, but it's criminal. It's serving what is monitoring with communication devices in violation of existing federal law. It's currently 9:53 a.m. and they are continuously doing this and amplifying the noise inside of my office. They're aware of the pictures that I took of them over here moments ago.
And as you know, the entity keeps the fake sun over me at Alvarado Gardens, which is what I documented. This was captured again before daylight savings time started in 2024 on March 10th, 2024. So as far as daylight savings time, which is, again, I'm referencing in order to make sure that my documentation remains scientifically relevant, addressing all of these quote-unquote rules, which you will learn are fables, they're fictions. They don't apply. It's not the natural environment. Okay. However, I'm referencing it because it helps you further understand that it's not the natural environment. So that's fine. I will reference all of these illusions, okay, regarding what is under no circumstances reconciling what is the specific environment, which is clearly distinct from the natural environment. And in this specific environment, the entity is gang stalking with the people of the state. Everybody at Alvarado Gardens were gang stalking right along with the Los Angeles Police Department, which is the city of Los Angeles, the state of California. Paul Leon and the demon that calls herself a mayor, Karen Bass, they're gang stalkers. You will not remain as a mayor. They're not ignorant about what the population in both cities and counties are engaged in. They're engaged in it themselves. This is exposing massive public corruption and what you need to be aware of, demonic activity, organized crime in the most malicious manner. It is currently, again, I just want you to see this which is irreconcilable. It's the prosecution of the state of California, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and capture a screenshot while I'm at it. All right, again, this is Alvarado Gardens at 1810 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, where the fake sun was rising and setting. I lived and worked at that venue, never left, and the entity kept the fake sun over me. And as I left the venue, for example, going to the Glendale the Glendale DMV, that's where the fake sun is over the Glendale DMV. Also irreconcilable with keeping the fake sun stationary all day long over Alvarado Gardens. Irreconcilable with keeping the fake sun all day long over Woodside Senior Apartments, like I'm documenting. All right, it is again currently 10:35 a.m. And just in order, you looking at that, but that's just relevant. It just as a matter of wrapping up this is impossible light that's inside of the apartment. All right, this is my shadow that's enlarged. The entity is indeed aiming engineered light in all manner of direction because people of the state are gang stalking. This is P.O.C. This is the peroxide bleach blonde. This is a psychopath. She's walking in circles, stalking in the path, in engineered light. Okay. This is gang stalking where you live. She's going to a mental asylum because of her mental illness that is clearly exhibited, meaning her mind state becomes a part of the controversy. By the way, that's axiomatic where you're gang stalking. Gang stalking is a pattern of conduct by a mentally ill population, and their condition is that they're demon possessed. Provide evidence regarding your mental illness by virtue of running in circles in a living room, for never going to sleep and engaging in something very disturbing, such as stalking in an apartment where you live, another person in an apartment underneath you, and stalking from room to room in an environment where the environment is, in an environment where the light source and the engineered light is facilitating very psychotic behavior, which is shared by demons who are pacing around. Their upright shadows are appearing, like you see the shadow of the chair. They're upright. They're monitoring with this demon that's running in circles like a dog with rabies. Okay, infected, sick in the head, confused, violent and aggressive, dangerous. That's the demon possessed. And this, again, license 5WUV715. You've seen her walking under the fake sun in the middle of the afternoon. You see the fake sun this morning at 9:51 in the morning. You see the fake sun rising here at 7:18 in the morning. You see the fake sun setting here at 6:27 in the evening. You see the demons who are the Ontario police gang stalking in helicopter, flying at a higher elevation than the fake sun that's sitting on the roof of the same apartment complex. This is the evidence that's putting the people of the state in apartment 55 in a mental asylum. And this is how the people of the state and the state, you're stalking in helicopters, you can look forward to federal prison or a mental asylum. And that's by virtue, literally, the criminal conduct itself is making your mindset, your mental state, a part of the controversy in your federal prosecution. This demon has stopped moving around because the demon knows that I'm documenting on video. Walking around in the apartment will never cause the walls and the ceiling to crack. Walking outside will never create your upright shadow moving across the patio doors and walls. Driving outside will never cause sunlight to move across surfaces. These are demons engaging in psychological torture, and the whole property is going to be prosecuted. And the demons in units 33 through 64 who are under a fake sun, that is the intention to engage in the elements of monitoring. This same sex offender, a mentally ill psychopath, gang stalking me on behalf of the demons who are a police department in the city, is monitoring my genitalia in that bathroom. Okay? This is ongoing terrorism while a mentally disturbed demon who does not appreciate or recognize how she's going to be treated when she is prosecuted. She's going to be treated like the monster that she is, acting toward the permanent demise that is trying to murder and kidnap me, and having the audacity to continue to do it on a 24-hour basis on behalf of the state. Understand that that audacity is shared by a population of demons who know that the fake sun is remaining over me, and those that are living off of, for example, Euclid and 8th Street in Ontario, off of Mountain Avenue, and 5th Street in Ontario, off of Foothill Boulevard, nowhere near Woodside Senior Apartments, they're going to be prosecuted. They share impunity. They share malice. The entire city is gang stalking. The exclusivity of the sun, which as a matter of evidence, the asininity of the demons who are very highly inept intellectually, keep a fake sun over this strip of property, and the whole city is going to be prosecuted because the whole city is gang stalking while the fake sun remains over me, with the demon that's providing evidence against all of them, and a demon who herself is going to a mental asylum. Okay, this is, again, impunity. I've been documenting on the document entitled WSA-The People. And then understand that the demon inside of this apartment, conversing, walking in and out, smiling, talking, is monitoring me. That's diabolical malice. Also worthy of a mental asylum. And that's exactly where that third party is going. This is apartment number 51. This is the impulsible light activity. This is the same exact light activity you see in the dark. You see it in the morning, you see it in the middle of the day, you see it still at 3:49 p.m., distinct in color from the engineered light. None of this is the sun, but you're looking at what is the maintenance of engineered light, while a demon, engineered light, is pacing around on the ceiling where this demon is like a rabid dog, running around in circles, monitoring. As I move around in the apartment, as I touch my devices, okay, as I type any documentation, somebody that is exhibiting their need for a mental asylum continuously is engaging in gang stalking. Under what is a covered structure is not sunlight, but engineered light. Not only is sunlight not going to appear underneath a covered structure like this, the sun is not going to be stationary at the same location. This is, again, while you're isolating the venue, it's 3:49, it's 3:50. At 9:51 in the morning, this is the same apartment. You're looking at the light source. This is the evidence of a mentally ill population who's gang stalking with a psychopath. And they're monitoring, knowing exactly where I'm at while they walk by, and their upright shadows are appearing on this, just like you see the chair. The demons that are monitoring me, they walk by with their shadows moving by with simultaneity to my conduct, simultaneity to my documentation, simultaneity to whatever it is that I'm doing in the apartment. That's called stalking with light activity, stalking with audible activity. Why this demon? All right, it's the chief means of amplification where the gang stalkers are at an apartment complex. The demons that are at the city hall right now, off of B Street, they're being documented. There's no sun in Ontario. The city of Ontario is gang stalking while a fake sun remains over me over this strip of property at Woodside Senior Apartments. It's not over the entire property of Woodside. It's over this strip of property in alignment with my person, in alignment to the apartment where I am situated on the property. It's very, very specific. At no point in the day was the sun ever, nor is it going to be, in Los Angeles over the Woodside Senior Apartments. Speaking to the same entity that is the Los Angeles Police Department, that's Los Angeles County, that's the state of California. This is the city of Ontario, the Ontario Police Department, in other words, the state of California, gang stalking. The entire property of Alvarado Gardens, all of those demons, all 59 units, they're all going to federal prison. Every single last one. And being the property manager, I had the ability to identify everybody's name, all the occupants, any children that are going to be removed from the custody. The people that stayed at Woodside Senior Apartments are going to be treated in the same way. You are no less of a monster because you're 55 and older. In fact, they are more practiced in wickedness. They are equally engaged and invested in murdering and kidnapping someone. And the very foolish conduct of mentally ill people doing so in an environment that the world is going to recognize so that you can understand who Satan uses. And Satan, contrary to what he wants you to do, is not discriminating on race, physical handicap, on your socioeconomic status, on any of those things. It's all irrelevant. He just wants the vessel. And Satan has somebody so deceived. This demon, this bleach blonde demon, is going to a mental asylum for the rest of her life while you're looking at impossible light activity on the wall, still stationary, on the couch, covering the patio, on the ceiling. Okay, and you're also looking at what is engineered as I move my arm. Okay, this is P.O.C. Remember where the entity has engineered this wall as well. This is a specific environment inside of the apartment where a sex offense by the city of Ontario, by the state of California, is underway. It's a molestation. It's also speaking to constructive presence of the state who know what you're doing as you do it. And you have people behaving like animals in need of medical attention, in other words, and that's exactly what she's going to get. It's exactly what she's going to get. But that has no business being in law enforcement. That has no business being on the government council, the city council. That has no business working for fire departments. No business working, driving EMTs, operating ambulances. All right. That has no business practicing law. That has no business flying commercial planes, working even at airports, having access to children, practicing witchcraft. Inherent sexual violence are those that practice witchcraft. Okay. It is currently, again, 3:54 p.m. Here's the fake sun at the same location where I captured it. I'm inside of the same apartment where it was at 9:51 in the morning. And the engineered light was shooting through the peephole on the kitchen wall. And then I captured it at 12:39. That same peephole engineered light was shooting onto this bookcase. This is the same exact property. It's the same front door. It's the same P.O.C. We're ongoing terrorism and harassment as an entity. Okay? A low-income housing recipient is gang stalking with that government and is going to a mental asylum, and no other domestic terrorists from here forth will be receiving any housing benefits. They're going to find themselves homeless because no government is going to pay her rent, especially with a criminal record, if she gets released from a mental asylum. It is currently 3:54 p.m. This is criminal activity by the state. Crossing path is light activity creation, and they intentionally and knowingly do so. That's understanding the mental illness of the demon-possessed, the malicious population who are not ignorant of the fake sun they're walking under. And remember, on the sidewalk and on all the walls, they're monitoring you maliciously, don't have to talk to you, don't have to address you, while they're walking in and all of that colorful light activity on the walls and all over the ground. That's understanding the malice, those that are maliciously working with the government that wants to falsely depict that target individual that doesn't have all the evidence that you're witnessing. That's P.O.C. It's currently 3:55 p.m. All right, just want to document the Ontario International Airport that's engaged in surveillance. These are hostile demons that are mad because I referenced the truth regarding the fact that demons have no business flying commercial planes because Ontario International Airport is gang stalking. Pay attention, they're flying higher than the fake sun. They're flying at a higher elevation than the fake sun. So this is the P.O.C. by the Ontario International Airport, flying at a higher elevation than the fake sun itself, that is aimed in position with the location of the same apartment where the fake sun is present at 9 in the morning. And with regard to timing, they are aware of the video that I just captured as I'm referencing demons like Alan D. Wapner as well, who was a demon and also in direct conflict with what is criminal conduct, is sitting on an Ontario City Council and is very aware of and engaged in and facilitating, enabling criminal conduct by mentally ill who are stalking in commercial planes. This is not fables or stories. This is speaking to the obsession of a demon-possessed population who are very mentally ill while they're stalking in helicopters under the fake sun. This is not ever at Alvarado Gardens today. Understand the intent of everything happening in the environment. Demons on canes, demons on walkers, all right, demons in wearing bifocals, demons who are overweight, demons who can't even walk, but they're still gang stalking with the state. Helicopter plane activity, all the same. No less life-threatening than what LAPD is doing at Alvarado Gardens. What every other demon-possessed police department that is sitting on the record gang stalking, mutually exclusive to the maintenance of a stationary light source at Woodside Senior Apartments. And there's no coincidence while demons are aware that I reference them as a whole airport that's going to be shut down. Why? Because the city of Ontario, the state of California, is employing terrorists. They're getting paid money to engage in criminal activity while they do things such as, by the way, hiring remote workers who are actually handling the business of an airport, for example, while the demons on the grounds of the airport are organizing state surveillance, stalking me, engaging in what is psychotic and literally delusional methods of retaliation. I'm gonna prosecute the entire airport. And now they're sounding sirens. You already know what the Ontario Fire Department is. You already know what the Ontario Police Department is. You also know what the demons of AMR, American Medical Response, are. Under the fake sun and engineered light, where the shadows are a means of monitoring me. The demons are walking by with simultaneity to what I'm doing. They're flying over in relevant position with regard to what I'm doing. Alan D. Wapner is fired. He's a corrupt president. He's also a corrupt city council member. And he's being documented as a domestic terrorist. You're talking about what is prosecution for federal group stalking and monitoring and for facilitation of federal group stalking and monitoring. All right, this is the maintenance of a light source and engineered light. None of this is sunlight. This is the P.O.C. by the state, fully engaged in what is facilitating it while communicating, which is what you saw under what is that 9 or what? I am capturing a video right now that you're engaging in since you want to communicate. That's audible activity of the entity that's gang stalking while harassing. All right, the entity is maintaining the light source over this venue at 9:51 in the morning, the sunrise at 7 in the evening. You're looking at off of the building where the airport is a means of crossing path. It's amplified in volume inside of the hotel because demons are hostile to exposing them. They are hostile to being exposed as the ignoble, demon-possessed, and psychotic stalkers that they are. This is all demonic. Look at all this light activity. While a demon is inside of this apartment telling me to get inside as though she has authority and she doesn't, she's literally going to a mental asylum. It's diabolical malice that's exhibited while you're looking at the manifesting in the shade. They're all gang stalking with the Ontario International Airport. The city of Ontario that's sounding sirens is gang stalking with the people. There is no natural explanation for what would be light that's manifesting in the shade. This is exposing a demon-possessed population. They are indeed gang stalking. Everybody in units 33 through 64 are going to federal prison. All right, and they are engaged in obsession that is demonstrated while at every means they're always trying to touch me. This is what you see, my shadow appearing here. The demons are obsessed with my genitalia. The demons are obsessed with every word that I utter. The demons are so disillusioned with, they engage in stalking in airplanes. That's how important I am to the demon possessed, to Alan D. Wapner, who has no business being interested in my genitalia. The same with that demon, that sex offender that practices witchcraft alike, Mike Lorenz of the Ontario Police Department. These demons, these corrupt government actors, including Paul Leon, all right, not different from Karen Bass, they're going to be removed from office and they're going to be publicly exposed. And this is speaking to what is a far-reaching criminal system in the state of California. Those who are corporately monitoring me throughout the state, obsessed with my genitalia while doing so, and enabling an entire population who is of the same condition, because it's revealing what Satan is doing for such a time as this in the world. I'm just exposing it in California.
Okay, you saw this morning reflecting through the window. This is where the entity's stalking in planes, stalking in helicopter, and stalking using sirens. That's audible activity while they know every move that I make and everything that I'm doing. And so do these demons that have engineer light on their apartments. P.O.C. They're all engaged in federal stalking. It's currently 4:07 p.m. This is harassment while the people of the state tell me to go inside. That's obstruction of justice. And that's a psychopath. Okay, the same one engaged in the collateral schemes with this entity, engaging in things such as fake marriages, fake death certificates, exhibiting high level of malice, under no circumstances interested in my well-being and my safety, doing so while posing as a mother. That's a basis of federal prison. But this one in particular, because of the mental illness that's exhibited through the pattern of conduct and a high level of malice, is going to a mental asylum. It is currently 4:07 p.m. and this is not the product of the sun. It never went to Alvarado Gardens, contrary to what you saw in evidence. Objective evidence that is irreconcilable with the natural environment. And then you're understanding everything happening in this environment is deliberate and intentional, and they are knowingly engaging in it. Those are demons that are on Vine Avenue, keeping me under surveillance. They also all know when my panties are down and my genitalia is exposed. They're all monitoring, masturbating, touching each other, and touching themselves. They also like to touch children. They like to violate children, engaging in that same delusional pursuit of some sort of spiritual power, because they do not want to seek deliverance, which they desperately need from the Lord Jesus. That's why he's telling all their secrets, and they're going to be prosecuted. It is currently, again, 4:08 p.m. This is P.O.C.